So you can say that subud, a wonderful thing, subud, my God, a wonderful vibration, and it's separated out so that some of us separated from the organization, and some, uh, I guess, remained, because I only know about those that got separated out. I mean, among myself and my sons, we weren't allowed to stay in the organization, and so as we see it, as I see it, as I understand, um, it got itself into a mess because of insincerity and because of kind of joking about God or something, that it was just some kind of exercise that we did. I don't know what they did, because I try to stay with it, and I got so much out of it. It's been, it's 50 some odd years, 50. Next year it'll be 25 of 65, so that's 35 and 25, that's 60 years. Should I live that long? Is it that long? 25 and 35, yeah. And so, the point is to understand, to realize that that we make mistakes, and so then we have to correct our mistakes. And so the mistake that was made is that people were very confused at the beginning, didn't know what to do, who they were, what was going on, but they knew they were having a marvelous experience with the power of God. It was delivering them out of a mess, and they were already, just by being open, they were in a new space and having a new life. And then of course the thing was to let God instruct you and show you, and the thing is that God is full of surprises and very subtle and extremely, so wise you can't even talk about it, and so intelligent you can't even talk about it. So he would be showing you, and Subi, the guy who brought the guide, who brought it, kept telling us, okay, pay attention, and so being Subi-minded as I was given that gift, and so then I noticed and I realized and I saw what was happening around me, and what I saw was that the kind of structure that was created in Subud didn't fit the culture that we were in, because the culture that we're in is a culture of not being spiritual, particularly, or not, being more like, hey, let's go get things done, and being kind of focused on physical things in the world, getting things done in the world and things like that, and not being all, this and that and one thing and another. And so, so in our society in the United States, we're fond of, those intelligent, educated beings are fond of, of meritocracy. In other words, of being able, you do what you're good at, and if you're not good at it, then let somebody else do it who is good at it. And always find somebody who's good at the thing and let them do it. That's a way to some kind of some sort of success in whatever endeavor that you're taking up. And so how we determine things, because we have this egalitarian thing that everyone is equal, and it's based on some kinds of truth that, God created us all, He loves us all, and so in some way, yeah, we're all wonderful creatures of God, and He loves us the way we are, and regardless of what we do and stuff like that. So we learn from the near-death experience people. He just loves us. It's just an amazing love that they experience when the people who have near-death experiences go on the other side. It's so wonderful, and they don't even want to. I mean, it's like they feel so good. It's just you have to have felt these kind of feelings to know what it is. and most of you probably have, you feel so good that you don't even want to move. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to do anything. You just want to be right there and feel that feeling, and you feel like you can just feel that it's complete. You can feel it forever and just never do anything or go anywhere. Just feel that feeling. It's so fantastic for us, and so. But so in terms of egalitarianism, we like to vote. We vote for things. We give everybody respect. So the plumber is equal to the president of the company, and the professor of the university, and the housewife, and the child even. We don't let the children vote because until they get to be of age, because they're going through things and they can't see enough of the big picture of what happens when you go through your different mineral, vegetable, animal forces that you're fed into, and then when you're in your 20s you start resolving or working with all these things. They haven't gotten there yet, so we don't let them vote, but a lot of times they have a more clear thing of the guidance of God. So it's just a matter of convention. But anyway, so that's how we do things. We vote. Now the thing is, there's a very easy way for us to be a spiritual organization and vote because of the source of our voting. So why are we voting? Are we voting from ourselves or our wishes or our thoughts? No, let's go ahead. Let's vote from what we're guided to, but we're moved from within to vote. So we don't do anything, and we see how we're moved. So there it is, right there. It's just so easy, it's so simple. A lot of times the people on the other side go over and say, man makes things very complicated, but with God it's very simple. It's simple. Everything starts simple. Everything is simple, and then it gets quite complicated. It gets more complicated, but it starts simple. So we needed to do that. We needed to find that thing. I found it a long time ago, but I could never. Somehow I couldn't get people to listen or to get on board. I was short of funds, so I was running around trying to get money, and scrawny. I've gained a bit of weight since then. I was scrawny, a bit scrawny. Anyway, for whatever reason, I couldn't get them to come on board. I'm still trying to do it. I'm still trying to get you to realize, so you have the situation. So if we had that thing with the voting, which is, I know that because I kept looking for the guidance of God on that, and that's what the guidance of God showed me that. You can believe that or not. You can test it. You can look at it for yourself. If you know how to ask the question, if you want to ask those questions, you let it arise from within yourself. You don't interfere with it. For instance, if I was going to ask a question right now, it would be like, I'm not asking a question because I'm giving a talk. And that's what comes to me. So the thing is, that's what we needed to do. And as soon as we found out and we understood that, then we needed to change the organization so that we all voted on everything, and that way we could have voted ourselves to a place by being guided to vote. We would have been able to follow the guidance of God through the voting. And it would have been perfect for people in the community because it wouldn't be anything strange. It wouldn't be we're going off the room and having some kind of people who we don't know who they were and everything kind of test questions that we couldn't test and come up with answers that apparently we couldn't come. It would be like we were just members or something. It was just a ridiculous kind of setup, very structured. Those people were the people, and they knew, and we just had to kind of accept. And then they even tried voting, but the voting, they even messed that up. So I won't go into that. So anyway, that's the secret. That's the thing of subud, to vote when you're moved. And then as far as the important functions of subud, the organization, they are, of course, the committee, but then there's also the main, and the spiritual side, or the real living part of subud is nurturing the members, and all the members, those that are in and those that are coming in, and with a particular emphasis on those that are coming in, because they don't know much, and if you don't talk to them in a good way, in the right way, and be there for them and everything else, why, their like is not to go off and find somebody else or listen to their own counsel, and at that point in time they listen to their self, or some force in them, or something, or they don't quite understand it. It takes a while to kind of, you understand it right away, and yet it takes time for it to all kind of get to a point where it's percolating out there on the surface of your being, and you understand what you're doing. Have understanding. So those people need to be the ones that support the other ones, the ones that are kind of like the nurturing ones, the ones that look after people who are coming in. They don't have to have a name. Anyway, so who are those people? So I looked into that too, and so those people are going to be people who come and go. Some are going to want to do it, and so okay, you want to do it, but then maybe it's not a good time for you to be that kind of person, because it's a kind of an advancement. I mean, to look after other people, you can hardly look after yourself, and now you're going to look after other people. But it requires certain qualities of empathy and emotional IQ, and then it also requires the sincerity to be able to receive. So when you want to say to the person, well, no, that's all wrong, instead you say to them, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, there's more to it. One of the things more to it is like this, and talk to them like that in some sort of respectful, human way, and not chase them off or be critical of them or ignore them, which was kind of a lot of what happened. Because I was down on the bottom layer, I was so poor, and I was running around trying to find a place to live and things like that, and going through whatever I was going through, but always very enthusiastic and wanting to get, do this thing. This was it. I decided pretty early on, within a few months, went through a few things, and I thought, this is it, and so I'm going to go for this. I'm committing 100%. It took a few months, but then I did. I committed. So because if you commit to something 100%, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. You're not sitting on the fence. You're all in, and in the end, you need to be all in. So anyway, so those people. Maybe that's enough for now. Those people, I'm just going to say one last thing. So those people, they'll come and go, because today you might be good for a while doing that kind of work, but maybe after a while you get tired of it, or it's too much for you, or you're going through something and God doesn't want you to do it anymore. So always the guidance of God leads. So then after a few months of, let's say we give you, this is an important job, because you can ruin subud by being, if you work in the restaurant and you're not very nice to customers, the restaurant can go broke. You chase people away, they won't come there anymore. And we need to find out about that pretty fast. So every 3 months, 3, not more, not less, not 2 months, that's too little, 3 months, every 3 months. This is the guidance I have. You can check it out. Every 3 months, we all get together, we have a meeting, and we have the probationers, the people coming in. They say, okay, so we say to them, you only have 1 minute, not a lot of time, but just tell us. So you had, this person was nurturing and helping you. How did that go? Did it go well? Did you have, did you get what you needed out of them? Tell the truth, be honest. Don't try, don't hurt anybody's feelings. Try to be nice, but be honest and say, well, yeah, no, it was great, or well, and so we're going to listen to those probationers, and then we're going to listen to the people, because this is a very important role, very important. If we have a good, healthy, robust incoming situation, we get more and more people. They'll tell their friends that they'll love it. Other people will come in. It'll just be a marvelous party we'll have. But if we don't have that right, we're in big trouble. So I say every 3 months, you have those people, the probationers. They check. They say what they and they get to. So then they're getting to participate already. They're being treated with respect. How did you feel about this person that was supporting you? And then and so then they can say, and then the ones that were supporting or were doing the supporting, we need to ask them too. So, okay, so how was it for you? Was this a good experience for you? Because I mean, like, well, I'm not going to spill any secrets, but for those who understand, I mean, there are answers that people can give that show the truth. And so once we listen to all those people, then we're going to vote again. And every 3 months we're going to vote. So sometimes the people say, no, not on that one this time, because they had 3 months, they learned something, it was good for them, everything else, they got voted in. But now, no, they're not. It's not working out for them. It's not time for them. They've been able to see this. They can understand. So it's all good. And now new people are going to want to come in. I mean, not in the group. New people can say, does anybody else want to feels like they're or is guided to or has an inspiration? It feels like they're ready to, or they want to, or they're enthusiastic about supporting new members. It's a hard job, so don't you might be up in the middle of the night talking to somebody who's unhappy or disturbed or something. Who knows what you might run into? But I mean, if you have the faith and you're willing to follow the guidance of God, or if there's somebody here that feels like they really want to do this, well, raise your hand and we'll vote on you. So we'll vote, we'll be guided to vote. So then sometimes people will leave, and then other times there'll be people who do this kind of work. They seem to be very good at it. The people that are probationers are like, oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. I learned so much. I just feel really good about subud, and I just think it's great. Or even less enthusiastic but still positive. Say, well, it was pretty good. I think I learned a lot here, and I think it's going well. It's going well. Those kind of people. So then you're going to vote, and you're going to vote and see if some of the people that were doing it before probably go on, and sometimes there might be a couple of people that are so good at it they always get voted in, but it's always temporary. It's always temporary because things change. People go through things, and subud is very dynamic. It's a very fast-moving thing. It may look slow, but it's very, very fast. And it looks slow because that big old boat that's you is just full of all kinds of stuff, all kinds of things have to be repaired and all rusted up. And so they could be working down to do a whole bunch of stuff down in the front of that hull. It's just marvelous work, incredible. You can't even see it up on the top. You say, well, I don't know if this is going on or not, if you don't know any better. And so it's a process. And it takes, as Bob said, it's a gradual process. So you just let the Almighty work on you, and follow when you're prompted. When they tell you to come up on deck, you come up on deck. You don't goof around. So that's how you would do that. That would be the main thing. So right there, in a few minutes, it's been less than 20 minutes. I shared with you all of these many years of what I received and my understanding. It sounds pretty simple, and it is simple. Simple. Do that. Change the organization. Correct the mistake, because I'm not going to get. It's Ramadan. I'm not going to get negative about. I'm not going to talk about mistakes. But if you really look at it directly on, you can see very easily how those mistakes were made, what they led to, and how soon we got. You know, even though he told us, he told us do it in the way it's normal for you, but no, we didn't do that. We kind of tried to do it like some kind of a thing that had to do with how the Indonesians did it. You know, that's a whole other story for another time. I'm not going to go in there. I'm not going to. Believe me, I understand. I know something about that as well. Certainly not as much as the people in Indonesia know, but I mean, I know from a distance. And I know from things I've seen and experienced. So that's the answer. That's what needs to be done. If you hear me, if you have ears to hear, you need to get on this. It's an obligation to correct. We need to correct, as Subi said, correct your mistakes. I don't know. You might be wondering why I keep calling him Subi, and I'll tell you why. Because the angel named him Subi, and then they his folks changed his name around to Subud, and then the Subud people started calling him Bapak, and so now he has three names: Subi, Subud, Bapak. But I go with, this is just how I see things. Maybe something wrong with me, I don't know, but I mean, the way I see it, the angel come from God, the purified whatever angel, it says Subi, then that's his name. And unless you're higher than that angel or something like that, then you better, you know more than he does. There may be somebody, I doubt it, there might be somebody out there thinks they do, but I don't, and so to me, he's Subi. And if you use that name Subi, you get a whole different picture, and big Bapak, or Subu, they're wonderful. They're good names. They're full of a lot of good karma. I love those names, but his name's actually, the name of the Arabic name of the dawn prayer is Subi. Subi. You can look it up. It's in the book. That's why I call him Subi. It makes perfect sense to me. It feels right. Feels good. What is his name? Subi. That's what comes. So anyway, you might wonder about it. That's why I call him Subi. I'm not. You can't even talk about people like Subi. It's just beyond. God sent him to us. Thank God. That's about it. So I hope you found this interesting and useful. Put it into practice. It's like because otherwise it's not working out, and and the whole thing is full of abuse and wrongdoing. Okay, so there you have it. Love ya. Talk to you another time, probably God willing. And my name is Luckman Lorette. I am a Subud member. I was opened in 1965. The first movement I ever had that I was aware of was a movement which later the angels told me came in, many years later, and told me that movement meant that I was Subud minded. And sure enough, I had been, and I was. I thought everybody was, but it turned out just a few of us were. And I have other proofs that I was Subud minded as well. Fun stories and things. One in particular. I'll tell you that another time. Anyway, God bless. Love you. Have a good Ramadan. You should be fasting. Part of this process is to do the fast. Should be moved to fast. Hopefully you're being moved to fast. You're not ignoring it. That would be, awful, if you did that. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.